Hello, hello. I am Sinner and I am sunburnt today. But today I want to talk about something that's a little different. It's another YouTuber which I've been watching kind of recently, and his name is Arthur Greenwood. Now, Arthur Greenwood is I would say, like political adjacent commentator. It's like a political YouTuber, but he doesn't really do politics. He's not like, oh, Trump did this, JD Vance did that, oh, Biden did this. It's not about that. That's not what he's doing. He'll more discuss ideas and, maybe the occasional thinker or the occasional, like, politics adjacent thing, but it's not like he's, real strict on whatever it is he wants to talk about. Now, this video is pretty short, but what I wanted to point out is that I think that Arthur Greenwood is based. Okay? Now, I'm going to explain why he's based. I don't agree with him on a lot of things. I don't agree with everything he says. But, that being said, um, excuse me, one of the things I do really appreciate is you can tell when you're talking to someone who's, very, how would I say, open-minded. You can tell when someone's open-minded, and you can tell when someone's actually engaging in an idea and actually thinking about it and actually cares about it versus when someone is, you know, just parroting information, when someone's just regurgitating talking points. And that was something that, I don't know how many years ago, um, actually, I do remember when exactly it was that I became disillusioned with partisan politics. It was after the Christchurch shooting in New Zealand. If you guys don't know what that is, there was just a shooting it was a shooting at a mosque in New Zealand. And the the thing that I've clocked after that point was all the apologetics that the left uses to justify violence by Antifa back then. You know, it's the same as it is today, but um, was the same form was being used. It's like whataboutism. It's whataboutism. It's these basic fallacies like, oh, it's not really violence because they did the violence first because of XYZ ideological reason, blah 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 blah. All this sort of stuff. And you know the the right at the time um, did the same apologetics, and like not all of them, right, obviously, but a lot of them did. And that was the point where I was like, well, I'm not right wing or left wing because clearly it's more about party than truth. And let's just regurgitate this idea over and over and over again. Let's win our side. Let's do sophistry, polemics. Let's not actually get at the truth. Let's be about being right. You know, right, like the winner. And to bring it back to Arthur Greenwood, I can tell that he's not that. I can tell that this is a guy who genuinely believes in what he's saying and is genuinely interested in the topics he covers and is genuinely uh, open-minded is what I would say. He's genuinely an open-minded guy. Now, I think a lot of his, not all of his takes, but there's a good few takes in there that are like weird, and I don't really agree with him, but on a lot of things. But um, yeah, I can see it's very obvious that he's the type of guy to change his mind when he sees something new. I think that maybe that makes him a little too easily influenced, maybe. But I really see it as a virtue. I think he has a great virtue, which is the fact that he has the humility and the open-mindedness to, accept new positions. And you look into his history, and he was a Voshite socialist, as he says. And yeah, he's got weird takes, but the weird takes shouldn't be something you should like frown at. You know, the weird takes is an indication that he's as much as I hate this term, a free thinker. The fact that he can like, seemingly start to go along a particular path, like, oh, maybe he's a monarchist, oh, maybe he's, uh, uh believes in aristocracy, whatever, you know, line you might, and collective framework he might be falling into. You think that for a minute, and then all of a sudden he'll make a video where it's like, oh, I think Peter Thiel is good. And it's like, where did that come from? Now, but it's a good thing to see that, because it means that he's not trying to please anyone. He's not trying to uh, conform to a particular strain of thought. It's very much, I'm just absorbing information, and this is just what I think. Um, but yeah, I think that's really all I have to say. I just wanted to, gas up people like Arthur Greenwood. I don't think he's the only guy. I think Academic Agent is someone else who I've been watching recently who's sort of similar. You know, he went from calling himself dissident right to calling himself sensible center, and now sensible center left. And yeah, that's something that's another indication, is the fact that, both of these people have changed their mind and have been honest and said, yeah, I believed in something that I completely disagree with now. Or not necessarily completely disagree with, but I've evolved my beliefs over time. That's an indication that you're listening to someone, or you're seeing someone who has an open mind. But yeah, that's all I really wanted to say. I'm Senna. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye. Like and subscribe and share.